Horizon Forbidden West, the sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn, finally has a release date. It will launch on both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 on February 18th, 2022. Such a decision was clearly in the cards since around E3 when Sony's Herman Hulst, the head of Sony's first-party studios, noted that they were undecided on the game's 2021 arrival. Forbidden West, which started development exclusively on PS4 before moving over to PS5 part of the way through, will launch nearly 5 years to the date. 5 years to the date, Horizon Zero Dawn came to PS4 in early 2017 and will be available for digital pre-order beginning in September. Additionally, Horizon Zero Dawn has been given a free patch that will bring it to 60 frames on PS5. Both Horizon games under development by Sony-owned Dutch studio Guerrilla marks the studio's first foray out of the FPS genre following a succession of Killzone titles at one time PlayStation's marquee shooter series. Forbidden West will be the next first or second party game launched from the Sony family. Samuel Mills wrote in and said, "Hello, gents. Hope you're all doing well. Don't know if you're doing a breakdown of Gamescom. We're really not. I mean, this comes from Gamescom, and we're going to talk about a bunch of Gamescom announcements, but no Gamescom breakdown per se. Wanted to know what you thought about the release date for Horizon Forbidden West, though. Do you think they'll hit that date? Richard Hogue brought up the interesting point on Twitter that the lawyer in him wishes game devs would start using phrases more like plans to release or aiming to hit in regards to announcing release dates. Since so many games have been delayed this year, it might not be a bad idea, but also sounds like a bit of a cop-out. Thoughts on this? Anyway, I'm personally excited they released a 60 frames patch for Zero Dawn." So, Dustin, let's start with you on this one. What do you think? First of all, do I think that to Samuel's question, do I think that this is the release date? Yes, I do think this is the release date. Also, I mean, I'm not going to make it a Colin was right moment because I think it was obvious, but I was right. I mean, it's coming out 5 years almost to the date that the original came out. Now, my theory about them releasing a director's cut or a PS5 native version may not be in the cards because of the 60 frames patch. I don't know. But what do you think about the date, the timing, and all of the rest? Are you still looking forward to it? What do you think?
Oh, yeah, definitely still looking forward to it. It was interesting how they spun this on Keighley's thing because they were like, we're happy to announce now that it's coming out in February. It was not an apology. It was very all positive, which again, it's like one of those things where it takes as much time as you need, but it was just an interesting way that they navigated around delaying it that I haven't seen quite before. But yeah, I mean, this makes sense. I think in particular where they're in the Netherlands, right? They went into lockdown again after the last state of play. So I can imagine that maybe if that wouldn't have happened, maybe we would be playing this game this year. But lockdown obviously slows down development probably quite a bit. So the question, I guess, overall is how busy the first half of 2022 is going to be because it is getting stacked. And I mean, this happens every few years. You know, we talked about the cycles of release dates and games coming out. Seems like 2022, I mean, obviously brought on by a pandemic that has delayed a bunch of games. But in addition, it's year 2 of new hardware, which is also a busy time. So it's exciting. I kind of I look forward to the craziness in a way.
I feel like in some sense that, well, first of all, really nice insight about the Netherlands. I feel like at that time they gave themselves the appropriate wiggle room, and we had discussed that ad nauseum at that time. That I thought that they gave up the ghost at that point when they said we don't know yet. I'm like, well, that means the game's coming out in 2022. There's just no way that you're not going to give, knowing that you could or couldn't give yourself the wiggle room, knowing that you could or couldn't afford it. I don't know what you're trying to line up, but I think we're golden in that sense. And I'm excited to play the game in February. I note that a lot of people are concerned that there's no first or second party game coming out in the fall, and this does suck, but I remind you that they typically do not release games in the fall, or the winter. I mean, what game came out in the fall or winter that you can even think of that was important?
It's usually like September, right? Like that's usually like the latest that they go.
Like I think about Uncharted 3 coming out in November of 2011. That was huge. PlayStation All-Stars, but that was like the PS3 era. When you really think about the PS4 era, I mean, I don't know, like there were the launch games in 2013 and then 2014, 2015. I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like very much. So I don't think, in other words, I don't think we're going to be missing very much. I'm not worried about that angle. Just wanted to throw that out there. But Chris, what do you think about Horizon Forbidden West coming February 18th to PS4, PS5? Are you looking forward to it? And how are you feeling about it reaching this date?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident that they're going to reach it. Like, I was actually looking up before you started reading about like what the restrictions were in the Netherlands currently, and it's, you know, like clubs are still like closed, and like people are still like currently like, you know, supposed to social distance. It's like, it's definitely like a different situation over there than it is like in most places in the US. And, you know, I think the little words there that he said, like, oh, you know, like plans to, aiming to hit, I feel like that's, you know, just in case things get worse, which I don't necessarily think they will, but I'm pretty confident that they're probably going to hit this date.
Yeah,
like, I don't think it is, unless some crazy shit happens,
right?
Which, you know, is always in the cards. But
yeah, there's a very short letter on PlayStation Blog from Matthias de Jong, who's the director of the game, and yeah, just says they were hugely impacted by the global pandemic, and they're trying to keep a healthy life-work balance. Now, they are, by the time, not quite by the time this goes live, but a little bit after, you can actually start pre-ordering it. So I just think that the cat's out of the bag. I think it's ready to go.
yeah,
And
sure.
I'm not going to pre-order it until next year when it's ready to get downloaded to my console, but you can do that now. And again, remember, the patch is available for you if you want to play Horizon. The original one on PS5, I believe that's in the PlayStation Plus collection. So that would just be free for you if you want a PS5.